It's like right after Nintendo announced the Nintendo Switch Lite, they were like, yeah, the Nintendo Switch Lite is cheap and amazing. Oh, by the way, one more thing. We're actually going to revise our standard Nintendo Switch, and here it is. What's new? Better battery life. What else? Uh. Hey everybody, Blood Moon Bobby here, and now I'm talking about a really unexpected, well, maybe not unexpected because it was widely rumored, but it's unexpected in that it's coming so soon after the announcement of the Nintendo Switch Lite. But Nintendo has announced a sort of revised Nintendo Switch, and what does the system have? Is it like when we went from the Nintendo 3DS XL to the new Nintendo 3DS XL when we had that processor upgrade and the additional controls? It's not even that sort of an upgrade. Like basically the only new feature that's in the new revised Nintendo Switch, I really don't even want to call it the new Nintendo Switch, is that the battery life is improved. So the original the Nintendo Switch, the one that I've got right over here, its battery life is generally set at between 2.5 and 6.5 hours, depending on things like internet connectivity, brightness, and even how intense the game is. Whereas on this new model, it lasts between 4.5 and 9 hours. And I know, like the original Switch, that's, quite a range, and I'm sure it depends on things like how graphically intense the game is, whether you're using internet connectivity, and how bright the screen is. So, but other than that, that's basically it. It's reportedly the battery life is because it's using much more power efficient chips. But aside from that, it's basically the Nintendo Switch as we know it. And it is the one with it's the one that, you could put in the dock and play games on the TV, and the one with the detachable Joy-Con controllers. Comes in the same gray and red and black models that the original Nintendo Switch came on. It'll cost $300 and it'll be released mid-August. So, yeah, I mean, talk about a minor upgrade. How do I personally feel about this system? Well, I think this revised Nintendo Switch, it's clearly meant for people who haven't bought a Nintendo Switch yet, because as I will say with, at least from my personal experience with the Nintendo Switch, its battery life, I know that 2.5 to 6.5 hours, it sounds like a scary statistic because it's like, oh, that sounds kind of short. In practice, I would say you can get by with Nintendo Switch for, I would say, between a full day or close to a full day of juice. But I wouldn't say it's a system you're going to be playing for 2 days straight. It's not like the Nintendo DSi. This is actually the Nintendo DSi that I got back in June of 2009. This was the system that both me and my sis played. This system had like really wicked battery life. This had like a 14-hour battery life, and I remember there would be times where I could, go to bed and there would still be enough battery in this thing to last for another at least a few hours into the next day. So to hear that there's a Switch coming out with battery improvements on its own is definitely of great convenience, and I'm really glad to hear that. And I'm sure for people who were hesitant about the Nintendo Switch, the original system, but now that they're hearing things like, but now that there's more games for the Switch now, you can get games like Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Doom, Mortal Kombat 11, and Wolfenstein Youngblood is actually coming really soon to the Switch. Now that those games are either out right now or they're on their way, I'm sure, it may incentivize people to pick up the Switch. And compared to the Nintendo Switch Lite, this revised version has many similar features to the original, if not very identical. Things like, being able to plug this into your TV and being able to detach the Joy-Cons. I also hope that, and Nintendo didn't say anything about this, but I also hope that because it is technically a newer iteration of the Switch, that it's more durable, and I hope that the reports are right and that it is a more power efficient system, because even though not every Switch has had like the heating and cracking issues, mine does. Like mine I keep doing this in my videos, but it does have the warping issues. I'm not sure if you could really see it in the video, but it's kind of warped at the top. I have like one crack on the back of my Switch that I'm pretty sure was not caused by my own doing. And I have some quirks with the Joy-Cons where sometimes, like I said in my Nintendo Switch Lite videos, there will be times where I'll be playing a game like Doom and the camera on its own will start like panning down, like if I'm playing a multiplayer match on its own. So what I end up having to do is either I have to get the camera, like recenter the camera myself, or sometimes what me and my sis would do we would either just unplug and plug the Joy-Con back in, or we would even take the Joy-Con out and like blow on the contact points on the bottom of it, like that, or also even on the Switch itself. Would try blowing on that. I've tried using compressed air before, and I would say 60% of the time I'm able to get it working again, but there are other times where I still have those kind of quirks and I have to go into the system settings and recalibrate the controls. So I hope that being a newer variation of the Switch, that this one is more power efficient and it won't warp and crack as much, because even though, yeah, not every single Nintendo Switch is having those issues, it is bothersome enough that I hope Nintendo through better engineering can make a more efficient Switch. So I hope this Switch is a better version. And me personally, I get why Nintendo wanted to release like this sort of improved version of the Switch. Like, okay, the battery life is improved, and I hope it's not durable. I mean, but at the same time, I'm still a little confused as to why they're coming out with it. And this is the part of the video where I'm going to start diving a little bit into rumors. I don't want to spend way too much time talking about it in this video because, they're rumors and not, the information is not confirmed by Nintendo. But me personally, I'm waiting to see if Nintendo is going to release a Nintendo Switch Pro with even better hardware, for things like, even better looking games and even more, and hopefully that would mean more games will come to the Nintendo Switch, because up until now I was expecting, because, I've been, reading up on the rumors, and I thought that Nintendo was going to pull a Microsoft. You know how with Microsoft, with the Xbox One, they have both the Xbox One S, which is basically the smaller version of the original console, and the Xbox One X, which is the much more powerful system. Like, I was expecting Nintendo to go down that road, where they will release a smaller version of the Switch, which they're doing with the Nintendo Switch Lite, and that they would release some kind of more powerful version of the Switch with something that would be like a Nintendo Switch Pro or something like that, or a new Nintendo Switch. Well, obviously, that remains to be seen, if Nintendo will ever release a Nintendo Switch Pro. I honestly have a feeling that they probably will in like 2020 or 2021, especially since, the next-gen systems from Nintendo's competitors are pretty much confirmed to be on their way. Microsoft officially announced Project Scarlet, which will be the next version of the Xbox, and even Sony's Mark Cerny has openly discussed some of the specs of their upcoming system. Presumably that's going to be the PlayStation 5. So I honestly think, I think it's pretty, because I think it's clear that obviously Nintendo isn't just going to be like, oh, we're going to stop with the Nintendo Switch and this will be the only console we'll have to make for the next 10 to 20 years. Like like what they've always done, I'm expecting them to make a new generation system, several years after, they come out with their current system. Just like how we went from the Nintendo DS to the Nintendo 3DS, and now we're on the Nintendo Switch and that sort of thing. So I honestly think it's inevitable, but as to what could the system be, it's obviously, because Nintendo hasn't announced it yet, it's, we can't confirm we can't even confirm if such a system exists, or like I said in many of my videos, I don't have a crystal ball. I can only speculate. So me personally, I wouldn't want to pick up the revised Nintendo Switch, mainly because the one I have, despite the quirks I have, it does work just fine most of the time. I still enjoy playing games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey, Doom, and Mortal Kombat 11, and I am hoping to get Wolfenstein Youngblood by the 26th. I am actually going on vacation the weekend of the 26th, so maybe I'll be able to bring along, Wolfenstein Youngblood and start playing that game on the trip. So I think for existing Switch owners, unless like your Switch is broken and you're looking at the Switch Lite and thinking, but I still want to have that ability to plug this into a TV, then I think the Nintendo Switch, I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm sure this revised version is going to be up your street. And I think that this is going to be more for people who either haven't picked up a Nintendo Switch yet and they want more features than what's possible on the Nintendo Switch Lite. And maybe there's even people out there who, are like, even if the Switch Pro is coming, I don't really, I'm not really interested. I'm fine with the Switch's, games as is. I really do want to play games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Doom on the Switch, and it works just fine. So, for those kind of people, more power to you. As for me personally, I think I'm going to hold off and see if Nintendo releases a Nintendo Switch Pro. Again, there's no concrete evidence that such a system exists, but, given Nintendo's history of coming out with a new system, every several years, I'm very curious to see Nintendo. I'm very curious to see what Nintendo could have in store down the line, and I'm very curious to see what they're going to have down the lines. But please let me know your thoughts down below. Are you interested in getting this revised Switch, or are you going to go out right now and get the current Nintendo Switch, or are you thinking of getting the Switch Lite instead? Leave all those thoughts down below. Until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell to get notified when I release my latest videos. Follow me at Blood Moon Bobby on your favorite social media platforms to take part in polls, see my tech tips, and to hear about my video plans. Thanks for watching.